at 8501 South Vermont Avenue in Los Angeles. Oxtails, baked or fried chicken, meatloaf, turkey chops, pork chops, catfish, short ribs, and all the fixins. Collard greens, mac and cheese, yams, red beans, black-eyed peas, and more. And, of course, hot water cornbread, satisfying drinks, and delicious desserts. Lonell's is a great place for brunch, lunch, or dinner. If it's good enough for us, it's good enough for you, because we've got your black. So, head on over to Lonell's Soul Food Cuisine at 8501 South Vermont Avenue in Los Angeles and tell Lonell you heard about it on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
Don't you driving me insane, just as heavy on my brain. You keep playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
There is no hate like Christian love, because when love is weaponized, it becomes the sharpest of swords. You've seen the banners. Love wins. God is love. All are welcome here. On the surface, it feels warm and inclusive. But what if I told you that same rhetoric is being used to enforce control, silence questions, and even demand hyper-forgiveness of repeated abuse? Today, we're peeling back the velvet covering to expose how love has become shorthand, not just for care, but for control. Because when they say all are welcome here, what they're often saying is that all are welcome to submit. Are you ready to unpack this? Go ahead and let me know in the comments where you think we're headed with this one. Let's define how love language functions as a tool for conformity and silencing dissent. In many faith communities, love is more than an ideal, it's a brand language. Love rhetoric is the specific use of words and phrases that signal unwritten rules like true love submits, true love waits, true love forgives all. Cast any objection as unloving. If you loved us, you'd comply, and cement group identity under the claim that all unity flows from love. Now, the core components of love rhetoric are universal appeal. Claiming love as a universal good makes it impossible to argue against without seeming heartless. But then there's also emotional authority, framing directives as acts of love. We do this because we care. This sidesteps logical critique. And there's also taboo creation. Once love is invoked, questioning the rule or practice feels like betraying the community's highest value. Some examples of this is we just love you too much to let you stay where you are. Or real love will always correct you, even if it hurts. Only unloving people refuse to see it this way. You just can't see how much we love you. Each of these slogans sound caring until you notice how they demand compliance and punish doubt. Now let's discuss how it silences dissent. Emotional override. When someone claims, I do this because I love you, your emotional resistance drops. You don't want to reject genuine care, even if it's conditional. It also creates moral leverage. Labeling criticism as unloving turns any question into a character attack. You either agree or risk being seen as cruel. And then there's also social risk. Since love is the community's highest value, challenging a love-based rule feels like sacrilege, so most people stay silent. Now that we see how love rhetoric sets the trap, let's unpack how it enforces conformity over community. The objective is to show how weaponized love creates pressure to conform by making dissent feel disloyal. So the core assertion here is when love is wielded as a tool, it functions less like care and more like a command. You either align with the group or you betray its highest value. There are mechanisms of pressure at work here. There's conditional affection, framing care as a reward for compliance. We'll keep loving you as long as you stay within these boundaries. There's also a moral ultimatum, presenting dissent as an assault on the community's moral fabric. If you truly loved us, you'd never question this teaching, which also leads to collective shaming, imprinting group judgment on those who hesitate or object. Look around. Everyone else is on board. Why are you the outlier? I've literally had a pastor say this to me before. A really good textual example to use here is when someone says love means I'm allowed to call out your sin, but also kind of implies that you're not allowed to question them. This is assumed authority. The speaker claims a privileged role. I'm allowed. And it's also selective permission. Othering you is fine. Questioning them is not. And there is also the dichotomy creation. Positions you as either the submissive receiver of love or the rebel. Now, this does have psychological impact. Immediately, there is a fear of loss, worrying that stepping out of line invites withdrawal of affection. There's an urgency to conform, a belief that delay or objection equals betrayal. So you comply.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Where the organs at, Lord? In the name of sweet baby Ray's barbecue sauce. That man was cooking. Let me tell you something. Just because there is a book or an established belief or some type of dogma, it does not mean that you are individuated. There are still unindividuated individuals roaming around church 12s that they have some type of moral right to condescend in the face of other works in progress. Well, I'm here to tell you, this is where the buck stops. We've got to stop calling attachment love. That brother, what was his name? That brother just broke down how attachment seeks to manipulate. All manipulation is control, right? I want to be able to get what I signed up for. I want to be able to get what I desire. Love has it all. Love does not worry about getting it because love already has it. Love is not worried about losing it because love is full perpetually, infinitely. So you hear me say love and God are synonymous. His name is Durante Lamar, right? Love and God are synonymous, but these are states of consciousness. This is why the ancients always said, hey, you got to climb the ladder to meet God. The consciousness. Not, oh, somebody's going to love me because I was raised in a dysfunctional environment. First off, when it comes to relationships, we don't know the difference between challenging, dysfunctional, and toxic. Are we going to work it out tonight? Oh, tonight's topic. Are you speaking as a form of conditional love. Is sanctified speech a conditional love language? Does this love language prevent you from using your own discernment? Does this love language, oh my God, here we go, 1-800-920-1580. A deeper look at how we use religion as a chat GPT for intimate relationships. Now, we live in a world where sacred language is reduced to mere performance. It's going to be okay. Everything is going to work out. Yes, yes. Toxic positivity in the form of encouragement. Let's keep going. Speaking Christianese has become a weaponized conditional love language that shackles discernment and authentic intimacy. We witness a disturbing transformation of divine mystery. We don't know what the divine mystery is. God even told you in the books, his ways are not our ways. God moves in mysterious ways, right? Is that not true? That's what we were taught, right? We witness a disturbing transformation of divine mystery into scripted obedience. Sacred chatter that sterilizes raw emotion and enforces conformity under the guise of holiness. As religious rhetoric transformed genuine vulnerability into transactional exchange. Attachment anxieties and narcissistic pitfalls will begin to emerge, fracturing relationships with spiritual bypassing and enforced submission. Love does not require you to submit. Love does not require you to do anything. So many people have no idea that love is a spiritual practice. Wait, let me pull back. Love is a spiritual practice, and you get to tear love down. I'm sorry. You get to berate and disrespect love because you've never climbed Jacob's ladder. Wait, what are you talking about, Zoe? Yes. Rising up the spinal cord into your crown chakra. It's a level of self-realization. It's a level of nirvana, moksha. They call it self-actualization. That's where love lives. Love does not identify with your wounds. Love does not identify with CPTSD. Love does not identify with your insecure attachment styles. Do you see? Oh, I know people are not ready for it. I know. Tonight's incendiary critique of the tyranny of dogmatic language that encapsulates personal freedom, urging a radical reclamation of unsanctified, unfiltered truth, a defiant call to dismantle the theological dictatorship that makes love conditional and silence a substitute for genuine connection. On tonight's topic, we demand raw, fearless, transformative, emotional rebellion. Get to your phone lines. Is religious relationship advice, for the most part, flawed? Can we take an objective look at the dogmatic, inflexible, and loud and wrong advice for relationships that come out of the church? We just heard the clip. I didn't even know Jill Monroe was going to cook us with that. We just heard the clip from Kirk Franklin. Do we still have it? Can we just play it really quickly? So, yes, we just heard that clip. I'm going to play it again. And I want you to listen very carefully to what the brother Kirk Franklin has to say. Now, I'm not saying that the church intentionally gives bad advice. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that there are pastors out there that intentionally lead people in the wrong direction. But what I'm saying is, if the pastor doesn't have a clinical background, you understand what I'm saying? He has to have some. Go with the clip.
I'm a black man that prays and sees a therapist. Because I wasn't raised with family, I don't naturally just run to it. It's work for me, being adopted and being the only child. So, there's some deficiencies that I realize I have that I still continue to try to work with in therapy, There's
even a little taboo about that, with black men.
Yeah, because a lot of times if you go to therapy, it makes you, sometimes some communities make you feel like you don't have faith.
Yeah.
And so all of those nuances and tensions I really want to try to work through publicly on these new platforms that I'm blessed to have.
Here we go. Kurt is on board. Sanctified speak or spiritual slavery? Does our obsession with holy chatter reduce sacred encounters to scripted obedience, thereby denying us the radical freedom of divine mastery? Is equating piety with performance a moral trap that enslaves our capacity for authentic, ethical rebellion? 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. Get ready. Can the conditioned receipt of love via sacred sound bites underpin attachment anxieties and contribute to identity erosion? What does research on trauma and attachment reveal about the devastating impact of ritualistic religious language on emotional autonomy? The tyranny of speaking Christianese. That's the topic. The tyranny of speaking Christianese, or whatever belief system you believe in. Denying discernment in the name of God. Is the divine gift of discernment sacrificed at the altar of dogmatic conformity, thereby silencing the very spirit of inquiry? How does blind adherence to spiritual correctness foster an intellectual apartheid that stifles dissent and genuine introspection? Here we go. When we come forward, the voice of reason going to the phone lines. The national conversation begins.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. You ready?
Somebody make some noise in this joint.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates its 4th anniversary this year on Juneteenth.
Here we go again.
Hard to believe 4 years has gone by so fast.
Oh my God.
But here we are, still standing, still loving and serving our people as best we can.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
To celebrate our 4th anniversary, we have 4 big events, and you're invited to all of them.
She got a lot to say.
Let's do this.
Let's get it on.
On Wednesday, June 18th, we go live on C-SPAN for the 2nd consecutive year with our Climate Justice plus Black Health Symposium. Tavis Smiley will moderate an all-star panel of thinkers and influencers as we continue our vitally important climate justice work.
Hey, Tavis Smiley, talk about.
On Thursday, June 19th, you're invited to join us as we celebrate Juneteenth and our 4th anniversary. There will be plenty of food, fun, great music, good vibes, and all of your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts will be there.
Yeah, man.
Flip the beat. On Saturday, June 21st, there are 2 big events you're invited to attend.
I can't wait to hear it.
This year, KBLA Talk 1580 continues its annual partnership with the Empowerment Congress for a community celebration and dialogue to educate, engage, and empower. This year's theme is Resilience in the Face of Chaos.
Can't wait to see what's up next.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
And new this year is our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium, moderated by Dominique Dupree
Prima with a luncheon to follow. Dominique will be leading a dialogue with some of the most impactful Black women leaders in Los Angeles, and you're invited to join.
This is it.
All of these events are free, but seating is limited, so you must register in advance at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can find all the details you need about each event.
Check it out.
It's our 4th anniversary, and we would love to celebrate it with you.
I love you guys so much. There's nothing you can do about it.
We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The only Black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
Thank you for having our Black.
Happy anniversary, KBLA.
We love you. Love you.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. LA County's new Justice Care and Opportunities Department, or JCOD, is here to support justice-involved individuals and their families. The JCOD Support Center is now taking calls at 1-833-LACJCOD. That's 1-833-522-5263. Available 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. The Support Center is your one-stop shop for re-entry issues and court support. They offer court reminders, connections to local services, transportation assistance for housing, court appearances, and childcare. The JCOD hotline provides personalized help to connect you with services that you need. And don't forget to check out justiceconnect.org for more information. Remember, it's free and available every day at 1-833-522-5263. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back. Wake up every morning, by the night I count stacks. Knew that it was real when I hit it, bounce back. You ain't getting checks. Last night took a L, but tonight I bounce back. Boy, I've been broke as hell, catch the check and bounce back. D-Town LAX, every week I bounce back. Whoa, if you a real one, then you know how to bounce back. Don't know nobody, nobody. Always on the fucking job, I got no hobbies. Got the city fucking with me, cause I'm homegrown. Vibing out more than my phone, no, leave me alone, me on my own, no. Look, I cut up it rough like an edit. My daddy a G, it's genetics. I heard your new is pathetic. Your contrast should be shredded. To my dogs on a private jet from the public house, and I kept a G, yeah, 1,000. Click stars studded like the Paramount money. Everything I do is righteous. Betting on me is the right risk, even in a fucking crisis. I'm never on some switching sides. I switch gears to the night shift. Blacking out cause I'm enlightened. God talk to me in silence, but I hear him every time, man.
Look, I'm just a dog laying on a couch watching you lose your shit over relationships. And holy, you're all doing this thing where you're training each other like puppies while pretending you're not. You check phones 17 times and call it caring. You guilt trip through concern, slowly isolate partners from friends, then wonder why love feels like emotional warfare. Murray Bowen called this fusion back in the 70s. But here you are, still trying to merge souls like Transformers. Here's what's melding my little dog brain. The most dangerous controllers are the ones who genuinely believe they're the caring ones. You're all simultaneously fighting for freedom while trying to leash someone else, often in the same conversation. When I want something, I just stare until you give it to me. Simple. But you've created this elaborate system where you manipulate through kindness, sulk when your person wants alone time, then get anxious when they don't text back fast enough. I don't know, maybe boundaries are just not trying to house train other adults, but watching you try to love without managing seems impossible. And honestly, I'm confused as hell.
Man, Dog Man is always on fire. Let me clarify. The voice of reason has to clarify here. I don't think the word is flawed. But if you give the word to broken people will look at the word through the lens of brokenness. Do you see what I'm saying? This is what's happening. Oh, because I'm a preacher, I'm somehow beyond reproach. Have you individuated yet? No. See, getting saved Asking God to come into your heart, Jesus to come into your heart, asking Jesus to be your personal Savior, that's just one step. That's just one step. That's the spiritual piece. You've set yourself aside for Jesus's favored, his chosen. Right. You are saved. You belong to Jesus. That's great. That doesn't mean the work of self ends. So, are you telling me your pastor is individuated? And should that be a question that should be asked? Right? You may know the word backwards and forward, but if you're not healed internally, you can weaponize the word. Love is not a tool for manipulation or control. And many pastors, I need the pastors to call in and defend themselves here. 1-800-920-1580. But there is a doctrine of submit and endure. Right? Submit and endure. Let me tell you something. Individuation is hard enough. Spiritual elevation is hard enough. But now I have to look at what's going on in me through the lens of my unhealed self. And then I've got to be instructed on what to do by someone who is equally as broken as I am. Submit and endure. The poisonous gospel of spiritual coercion. Don't tell me you haven't experienced it. I know you have. Do scriptural mandates such as submit to one another, pervert divine love into oppressive power plays that legitimize abusive intimacy. When I come forward, the voice of reason is going to keep cooking with the rarest grease.
Look, I woke up in beast mode with my girl that's Beauty in the Beast though. Been top 5, these niggas sleep though. Only thing that's sold out is the C-store. How dare you stand before me and I respect my authority. If you my glory, I'ma drop the L and get gory. I done did everything and said worry. Hella drama, my life story. Faith of a mustard seed that kept growing. I knew that this life was meant for me. People change that.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker signed a $55 billion balanced budget for the 7th year in a row. It includes $40 million for a sports complex at Proviso West High, backed by Black House Speaker Chris Welch.
If helping Proviso in the region that I grew up in is going to cost me an election, I'm willing to do that.
Republicans call it favoritism. The plan also raises taxes on tobacco, vaping, and online betting. A bust of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. has quietly been removed from the Oval Office with no official explanation. The move is part of a broader rollback of civil rights and diversity symbols across federal agencies, such as renaming ships that once honored civil rights and LGBTQ figures. And Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill won't race Olympic champ Noah Lyles this weekend as planned in New York City. Lyles canceled for personal reasons. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Is your concrete cracking? Is your uneven walkway dangerous? Do you need to level that concrete porch or patio? Contact Groundworks, the concrete lifting experts. Riverside, get your free inspection today. Learn more at groundworks.com.
LA's newest soul food restaurant is getting spectacular reviews.
Great place with amazing food. The Sunday champagne brunch is fabulous. I saw the place on IG. We tried it for lunch. We were blown away by the food and the service. The restaurant has an inviting atmosphere and a dynamic vibe.
Over Over the years, Lionel has catered most major black events in Los Angeles, including all of our KBLA Talk 1580 gatherings. But now he has his own spot, Lionel's Soul Food Cuisine, and you need to check it out at 8501 South Vermont Avenue in Los Angeles. Oxtails, baked or fried chicken, meatloaf, turkey chops, pork chops, catfish, short ribs, and all the fixins. Collard greens, mac and cheese, yams, red beans, black-eyed peas, and more. And of course, hot water cornbread, satisfying drinks, and delicious desserts. Lionel's is a great place for brunch, lunch, or dinner. If it's good enough for us, it's good enough for you, because we've got your black. So, head on over to Lionel's Soul Food Cuisine at 8501 South Vermont Avenue in Los Angeles and tell Lionel you heard about it on KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey, it's Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. Are you tired of stains stealing your shine? California Cleaners is where you go to rescue your wardrobe. They don't just clean, they elevate. Hand washing, crisp laundry, and precise alterations, all while keeping your wallet happy. Listen, all you gotta do is connect with them in the beautiful city of Inglewood. Whether it's grass-stained jeans, silk that's seen better days, or a hemline emergency before date night, you're on deck with California Cleaners, located at 1326 North La Brea Avenue, Inglewood, California.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-868-6431. 800-868-6431. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-868-6431. 800-868-6431 and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice. justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Wait till I get my money right. I had a dream I could buy my way to heaven. When I awoke, I spent that on a necklace. I told God I'll be back in a second. Man, it's so hard not to act reckless. To whom much is given, much is tested. Get arrested, guess until he get the message. I feel the pressure under more scrutiny. And what I do, act more stupidly. Bought more jewelry, more Louis V. My mama couldn't get through to me. The drama, people suing me. I'm on TV talking like it's just you and me. I'm just saying how I feel, man. I ain't one of the Cosbys, I ain't go to Hill, man. I guess the money should've changed them. I guess I should've forgot where I came from.
Most people have had that feeling at some time. And if you haven't, there will be a time when you do. When you feel like God is doing a number on you. You either feel it because it can only be explained by God, or you feel it because God could have stopped it and he didn't. He could have changed it and he didn't. He could have made it better and he didn't. And you become disappointed with God and you feel like he's just killing you. Meaning you just want to die. You're just dying, either literally or emotionally, or you're just dying. God, why are you killing me? In the last 24 hours, I've talked to 5 people, 5 different individuals who are dying. That is, who felt like they were unraveling, either emotionally or circumstantially or career-wise, or they were hurting. And God was nowhere to be found. In fact, sometimes it looks like God is toying with you. Because sometimes it looks like it's getting better, then it gets worse. It looks like it's getting better, then it gets worse. Then finally, it looks like he answered your prayer, and they ain't not answering your prayer. You feel like he's killing you. Because I'm praying to you, and it's not getting better. You tell me you love me. I don't feel like you love me. You tell me you're going to be with me. I can't see you. And it's getting worse. And I'm dying. Why is God killing me? 2 Corinthians 1 says in verse 8, "For we do not want you to be unaware, brethren, of the affliction which came to us in Asia, that we were burdened excessively, beyond our strength, so that we despise the even of life." Wow. How bad was it, Paul? Verse 9, the first line, "Indeed, we had the sentence of death written on ourselves."
Boy, Tony Evans, man, I could have listened to the rest. Tony Evans out here cooking. Let me tell you something. Let's just get deep. The suffering comes from attachment. The attachment comes from the lack of parental attunement. Do you see? This is how relationships become conflictual, right? So then it becomes a tug of war of coping mechanisms. It becomes a tug of war of psycho-spiritual puzzle pieces. We are looking for the wounded piece that fits us. And if they don't fit, we respectfully, in many instances, disregard and discard them. See, the Buddha made it clear. Attachment is the root of all suffering. You're not a healed pastor if you are encouraging couples to stay together in a toxic environment, in a toxic relationship environment. You're not a healed pastor if you say suffer and endure. See, the suffering is internal, right? And these two people are mirroring that suffering, which is why they are attracted to each other. They are attracted to traumatic past patterns. They see that person, that's familiar, that's my norm, that makes sense to my wounds. And then we turn around and label that love. That is not love, that is attachment. The Buddha is famous for saying attachment is the root of all suffering. Isn't it interesting that in the 50s, psychoanalyst John Bowlby said, you know what? Let me create something that was already created before and name it attachment theory. In attachment theory, we got 4 attachment styles, and only one of them is considered healthy, secure attachment. 3 others are insecure, anxious, preoccupied, dismissive, avoidant, and the fearful avoidant / disorganized is a combination of the previous 2. Who raised you? Sometimes you can have 2 parents and you think having 2 parents is success. Not if they're internally broken and you are raised in their environment modeling the way they reconcile differences. I don't know if y'all listening. Everybody wants to besmirch the good name of love, and they've never achieved it. The hypocrisy of holiness, when sanctified speech reinforces narcissism. If your pastor hasn't individuated, how can he guide you? Does the performance of godly language mask a deeper spiritual corruption in which narcissistic pursuits are wrongly held as divine purpose? I mean, Thomas Campbell, former clinical or former physicist turned metaphysician, talked about how in order to raise the vibrational level of unconditional love in your life, you must reduce entropy. His entropy model comes out of physics. The longer a thermodynamic system goes on, the more it begins to decay into disorder. Right? Now, how does that affect? That's attachment. Insecurity, it leads to entropy. Do you see? I know you're not ready for this tonight. 1-800-920-1580. When I come forward, I'm going to the phone lines.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org, or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cow-cruise-news.com. That's cow-cruise-news.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio that's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yeah. We at war. We at war with terrorism, racism, but most of all, we at war with ourselves. God show me the way because the devil's trying to break me down. You know what the Midwest is, young and restless, but restless might snatch your necklace, and next these might jack your Lexus. Somebody tell these who Kanye West is. I walk through the valley of the shadow where death is. Top floor, the view alone will leave you breathless. Try to catch it, it's kinda hard getting choked by detectives. Yeah, and I check the method. They be asking us questions, harass and arrest us, saying we eat pieces of like you for breakfast, huh? Y'all eat pieces of what's the basis? We ain't going nowhere but got suits and cases. A trunk full of coke, rental car from Avis. My mama used to say only Jesus could save us. Well, mama, I know I act the fool, but I'll be gone to November. I got packs to move.
The problem really, sir, is can we live a different way?
Here. Right.
A different way in which there are no wars, no hatreds, in which man loves man, without competition, without division. We say you are a Christian, you are a Catholic, you are a Protestant, you are this. That's also immature. There's no meaning. It's an intellectual, sophisticated division. And that's not a religious mind at all. That's not religion. A religious mind is a mind that has no hatred, that lives completely without fear, without anxiety, in which there is not a particle of antagonism. Therefore, that a mind that loves.
The great Krishnamurti, he's making it simple for you. A religious mind is a mind clear of all conditioning. A religious mind is a free mind, an unconditioned mind. Do you understand? I know people, God, mystery is synonymous with unconditioned. We don't know what it is. God is a mystery at its source. The source lives in you. The identity is very fragile and is formed in early childhood. The opposite of unconditional love is attachment. If you were raised by works in progress, they could have broken you. And if you have the seed of brokenness in you, attachment leads to entropy. Entropy is disorder, chaos. Oh, wait a minute. I have to maintain it. So now I have to learn coping mechanisms which develop into manipulation tactics in order to convince, cajole, and you can only do that for so long because now you're not healed, so you lack the capacity because you haven't touched unconditionality, right? You don't know what the suchness of God is within you, so relationships become labor. They become laborious, right? Oh my God, I got to deal with this person. Oh my God, I got to show up. You're showing up out of obligation now, and that gets tired. Do you see? Do you understand the entropy? The longer a thermodynamic system goes on in time, the more it begins to break down into chaos, disorder. What that means is if I have a hot cup of tea sitting on my table and I sit it on the table, the tea will cool off. But the energy of the heat doesn't disappear. That's the first law of thermodynamics. Energy is never destroyed. It can only change form. So the heat dissipates, but before it dissipates, it goes into the cup. Then out of the cup into the table. The energy of the heat is still there. You just lost access to it. Oh my God, we lost the spark in our relationship. No, that's entropy. Where there are unhealed people, there will be an entropic influence upon the relationship. Oh, I don't know who I'm talking to tonight. Right? And if you have people in spiritual position and they have yet to individuate, they can pass down some of their brokenness through weaponized spiritual words. Does that make sense? We got callers on the line. Let's get them in here. Let's get them in here now. People want to talk. This is a national discussion. Let's get it. Let's go to Hawaii. My brother, Pastor John, man, what are your thoughts on tonight's topic, brother?
Do I defend myself or what do I do with this morning?
I don't know if you have to defend
yourself. You first called me a pastor. First off, I'm not a pastor.
We know.
Second of all, you've also said that I've earned the right to be called a pastor.
Yes, you have.
So what do I have to go through to earn that right?
No, because you be on here preaching. You be cooking, brother. That's all.
well, let me get this cook out the way and get off the phone because I want to hear what everybody else got to say. First and foremost, Tony Evans, if you wasn't listening to a very single word that he was saying about your destruction, because it's necessary. I mean, maybe you don't get it. You live in this world as broken as it is, and you know it's a sick society, but yet you want to still live in it like it makes sense. You done Christianized your own self into the living that you continually live in, and you're dead doing it.
Keep going.
So again, the mysteries of life having something to do with his word says something to the effect of count it joy when you fall into these diverse temptations. So how are you supposed to build the capacity to be stronger in the chaos of what you had to live through? Some of us get to the point of a certain age, whereas in something you heard while you was in the church was you'll understand things better by and by.
By and by. Keep living.
I am at the age of understanding. My understandings are these. God took me through that tough time to take away the scales, the scars, the madness, the chaos, the rhetoric, the BS that I had to deal with, so I could finally see his face. So forgive me if y'all want this easy Christian, so-called Christianese life, this soft life of living this world and not go through nothing.
Right.
Something needs to be scarred off of you. Something needs to be ripped away from you. Oof. And you don't know what that is. God does, though. So again, let's go back to the capacity there is that you got to build up. And you've been through enough stuff to doggone understand.
Man, I love it, bro. I love it.
Count it joy. It's yours. And once you have the scales ripped from your eyes and you finally see your Savior, follow him. He's got you. And trust me, within 100% of everything you've been through, you've survived it. Let's go.
Let's go. Man, guess what you just did, Pastor John? Yo, we love that, brother. He cooking, man. Straight from Mountain View, Hawaii. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. We're talking about it. Christianese. It could be Muslimese, Islamese, right? Sometimes we get so caught up in the words that we don't understand that the words are symbols for something greater. The famous quote by the Buddha encapsulates the core teaching on attachment. When we become attached to things or people, we create expectations. And when those expectations are not met, we experience disappointment, frustration, or even anger. By recognizing the impermanence of all things and letting go of attachments, we can free ourselves from suffering. I'm here to tell you tonight, every expectation is really... When we come forward, I'll tell you the rest.
Do now to right my wrongs. I wanna talk to God, but I'm afraid cause we ain't spoken so long. God, show me the way because the devil's trying to break me down. The only thing that I pray is that my feet don't fail me now. And I don't think there's nothing I can do now to right my wrongs. I wanna talk to God.